welcome to the Life of Phys Podcast. I'm your host, Tyson Martin, and on this episode I have Eric Thompson. Eric is a Las Vegas-based photographer who captures life in the downtown core. He credits photography with helping him beat alcoholism and gave him a new outlook on life. Do not forget to click the link to Eric's documentary in the show notes. Now let's hear a word from our podcast partner and get to the show. The Life of Phys Podcast is lit by Hobolight. Hobolight is on a mission to empower creators to elevate their creativity with lighting kits made to last and built to inspire. These lights are bold, beautiful, and powerful because Hobolight believes that your lights deserve to be seen. To learn more, follow them on Instagram at HOBOLITE.
Hello, my name is Eric. I'm based out of Las Vegas, downtown Vegas to be exact, and I'm very happy to be here and joining you guys today.
Yeah, Eric, thank you so much for graciously giving us your time. So Vegas,
the city of sin. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
So you spend a lot of time wandering the strip and capturing the people in the moments that happen.
Yes, mostly probably 98% of it is downtown Vegas to be exact. I really don't get to the strip very often. I live downtown. Fremont Street is literally right outside my window here. And I don't have a vehicle, so I make downtown my home base.
Nice. Do you walk the same routes constantly? Or are you constantly shooting the same areas, just different times and different people?
It's mostly when I get off work, so it's usually dark when I get out. So I don't normally take the same route. You got to mix it up. I don't think anybody would want to take the same route every day. But I try to stay away from the actual Fremont Street experience downtown Vegas. It's overshot, and it's not really fun to me. There's not a whole lot going on scene wise. I kind of like the darker, more mysterious aspects of downtown. The outskirts of Fremont Street is kind of what I'm drawn to.
I noticed you like shooting the street art. The graffiti, the murals.
Yes.
You got some pictures of some nice cars. Your color profile, I love the way you edit. It draws you in. So when I'm going to be honest, I legitimately found out about you a week ago.
Yes.
From Stu Hunter.
Thank you.
And and he's like, man, you need Eric on. Eric has a story, and more people need to hear his story. So I'm gonna post a link to the documentary when I upload this along with your socials. Do you want to just get into it and start from the beginning, and we'll kind of work our way through and how you found photography and what it means to you?
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, my story really is how I got into photography. Is I was a major alcoholic. I don't really like to give levels of alcoholism, but if there was levels, I was pretty high up there. I was drinking 24 hours a day. I would sleep for 2 hours and wake up and have to have a drink. So, I was kind of high up there on the tier, and I was at my lowest. I was drinking to die. I wasn't like drinking to blackout drunk. I was trying to kill myself. I tried other ways to do it, and it didn't work. And it really hurt my family, and that hurt me. But I had no will to live. So I thought, I'll just drink myself to death. I'm already drinking a lot. Let's just roll with it a bit. So I had a couple huge events that led me to really drinking a lot. October 1st here in Vegas, mass shooting at the country concert was a huge change in my life. Really set me back a lot. I lost a really good job at a really good casino here in Vegas due to alcohol and drugs. I failed a drug test and got let go of that. And then my mom passed away all within 3 years. And that really sent me, downhill mentally. And I was just drinking my life away. Like I was literally drinking to die, like I said. And then I ended up in the hospital, and the doctors, told me, you keep drinking, you're going to die. And I wasn't okay with that. When you're faced with it, at home drinking, yeah, screw it, you want to die. But when the doctors and the families there and they're all seeing, then really clicks in your head, you don't want to die, you dumbass, So I made the change that I knew I wanted to quit drinking already. Sorry. I knew I wanted to quit drinking already. I just was scared to do it. And then I ended up in the hospital with the family there, and I was like, okay, we're going to do it this time. But I knew I was going to need something to facilitate my time when I get out of the hospital. And I was already taking, shitty cell phone pictures of, the murals downtown and stuff like that and posting on Instagram. And my sister saw that I was, interested in taking pictures. So she asked me if I would be interested in getting a real camera. So she bought me a Amazon special Canon 4000D DSLR. Great little camera for what it was. And I love that camera. I still have it. I'll never sell it. And then it just started from there. I started getting a little momentum on Instagram. The feedback was really good. And that's what's really kept me away from drinking was the community of photography, the feedback I was getting. And I was getting some local feedback as well, which is really what I wanted. I wanted to be part of the community. And I think I have achieved that so far. Kind of a long-winded answer, and I left out a lot of stuff, but we can revisit some of that, I guess.
It's always nice when where you live recognizes what you're doing.
Yes, 100%.
I live in a small town outside of Vancouver, British Columbia, up here in Canada. And been consistent for the last few years. The local tourism board uses my photos. And they constantly ask, is this okay? Is this okay to use this? Sure. No problem. I love it. I love the fact that the image I captured of my hometown is something that they want to share with anybody who visits for tourism or just to see what's happening in Langley. And that's such an important aspect. It is super motivating. You start getting other people you don't know commenting like, oh, wow, look at that photo. It's amazing. And that really helps you push to move to the next level and try to get better and try to hone in that craft.
Right. Yeah, 100%, man. I've lived downtown now for over 8 years now, but the 7 years of it was blacked out drunk. Wasn't a part of the community. And this is downtown is an actual community inside Vegas. There's a bunch of artists, there's a bunch of, musicians, there's all types of creative people here. And I was just drinking, my life away. And then to start getting some comments and, getting, recognized, I don't want to say recognized at all, but, the comments and stuff like that. And being part of the community was a big, changing, it really changed my perspective on not only living downtown, but actually living in a community instead of just being, blacked out drunk the whole time. So that was, it was a really big deal for me when, DTLV's Instagram, Downtown Las Vegas Instagram, reposted one of my pictures. That completely got me hooked on photography and Instagram as well. And Instagram is a whole monster itself. But I do, contribute a lot of my staying sober to the positive feedback on Instagram. So, and it's probably not the best because it can really mess with your head, social media. So it probably wasn't the best path to take, but that's the path I took, and it's been working.
Now focus on more of a community feel. Look for those people who would give you that positive feedback, who support your work, and give you constructive. I hate the word criticism because it's not really what anybody wants to hear about their art, but just gives them a little nudge in a positive manner, pushes them in the right direction. I love hydraulics. I love lowriders. So I'm just looking at the cars.
Every weekend they're out here. Every weekend we got some beautiful cars here in Vegas.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, every city does, but Vegas has some really dope lowriders. Yeah, we got the Lowrider Super Show here in Vegas for all.
Yep. I have a couple friends from actually the town I live in who are lowrider models that are always at those things.
Yeah, it's super cool.
I also noticed another photographer from Vegas that I've been following lately is Shane 702.
Yes, my homie. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Shane.
Sick. Well, what you need to do is tell him to answer that message I sent him about having him on.
Oh, definitely, man. I'll hit him up for sure. Dude, he is actually one of the dopest guys you'll ever meet. He is so supportive. Like he's got a big following. He's a great photographer, but overall, dude, that dude is amazing. He's such a great guy. I was actually telling that today. I wishing him happy birthday, man. I was thanking him so much for like he came. I sell my prints. I almost said crappy prints because I definitely don't think my art is worthy of being sold or anything like that. But he actually came out to support me, and that was a huge thing for me to have a really big photographer come out and support little old me. So thank you, Shane.
That's amazing. I would say your work is well above crappy. So I know the hypercritical, and I'm hypercritical of myself. It will take me sometimes months to post a photo, and then you post it and you get that feedback. You're like, why'd I wait so long? You know?
Right.
So I understand that hypercritical feeling that you feel about your work, but there's no reason to not push that, man, to get out there and get your work out into people's houses. You got so much stuff that is so sellable.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. I mean, I'm not selling fine art prints by any means, but I got them here in a shop in downtown Vegas on Fremont Street. Like that's huge, and
Sick.
I going back to it, I don't think I deserve that. Like Shane's trying to get in there, and I really want him to get in there. It's just like, why am I in there? Like, I have no business being in there. No business at all.
You know what? Sometimes we roll the dice and it hits, right?
Right? Yeah, I'm very thankful for it. I'm very thankful for everything I've gotten in the last year. I've only been doing this a year now. Just hit a year of my photography anniversary, and I'm loving every minute of it. Like the Vegas photography community has been amazing. I don't know if it's like that everywhere. Like I'm kind of stuck in my little Vegas bubble. So, I do have other, people I follow and we communicate, but the Vegas photography community is so amazing and so supportive. Of course, there's those bad apples, but for the most part, everybody is, like we were talking about Shane, so supportive. There's so many other people out there who support me, who I don't think I deserve. Going back to it, maybe we can talk about, what's it called? Imposter syndrome. Like it's through the roof with me, like through the roof. Like going back to it, you don't post for a while. I have a 500-600 pictures that will probably never see the light of day because I don't think they're good enough. And quite frankly, they're probably not, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I get that. I have 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have like 8, 9 terabits of photos that are right in front of me here under the monitor in my hard drives. And I have a hard time going through them. And for a long time, I didn't post anything under my name because I didn't want people to know who I was.
Right.
I felt if I could keep myself out of my name and I could stay under a different name, I could post whatever I wanted. And then the comments or the negativity that would come, if it came, would be okay.
Right.
I suffer from depression, heavy depression and anxiety. So the fact that I was able to get on the microphone and talk to people I don't know and find a little bit of success in it it's been healing, man. It's been like therapy.
100%. Yeah, it's definitely awesome to find something positive, that can fulfill your time, fill that headspace, because, that lone time is when those demons, come out, as you probably well aware of. So, you got to stay busy, you got to stay active and keep pushing yourself to be more creative.
So you mentioned you have a lot of people that support you in Vegas there, and your photography community is very tight. If you want to shout anybody out to thank them, I mean, by all means, man, just anybody who's got your back, like I got to respect that. And, if you feel it, send it.
There's a lot of people. I want to give a huge shout out to the people that actually shoot with me. Carlo, he's a really dope guy. Demo on Instagram, he's a super dope guy, and I don't want to put his business out there, but he struggles with his pictures aren't good enough. His pictures are amazing, and I look at his pictures like, dude, your stuff is amazing. Put some more stuff out there. He's like, no, it's the same thing with me. I tend to over edit my pictures. I'll sit on a picture and edit it for hours and hours and hours and change and change and change and finally just give up on it. But I think that is a huge thing too. So for me, going out and capturing the image is only like 50% of the joy of getting the image. A lot of my pictures are way over edited, and I know it. But it's fun to come home and be excited about the image and see how you can change it, change the colors. That's the other part of it that keeps my mind busy too. Because I just went and took the pictures, came home and uploaded them. I have nothing to do. So for me, editing the photos is half the fun as well. Sometimes it's not fun at all though.
I feel you on that one too. But I love the fact that you take your edit and you have this. It has a feel to it. You like your color for sure. You really like that vibrant pop, but it's got that flat. It's got a flatness to it, and it just your depth of field is. Man, your images are good, dude.
I really appreciate it, man. And I'm out there practicing every day, and if you do look at some of my older posts, there is some progression there. I am getting better, but again, I've only been doing this for a year, so I had no. So when I got into photography, speaking of shout outs, Boogie 702, who's an amazing photographer here in Vegas. He does some dopes, the skylines. So I saw his images, and then when I got my camera, I was like, man, I want to go, take some images of downtown like that. I didn't know anything about editing. I didn't know you had to edit a picture. I thought the camera did everything. I thought you just pointed. I had no idea about Lightroom, contrast, I had no idea about anything. I went into this so naive, and I was in for a rude awakening really fast. When I got those uploaded on the computer, I'm like, these are horrible. These look nothing like Boogie's. So I was pretty naive going into all this. But yeah, I've only been doing this for a year, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm still trying to learn or trying to figure out my style and where I want to go with my photography. Especially right now, the last week I've been having, some self-doubt, major self-doubt, and where I want to take my photography. And I'm still trying to figure that out because I definitely love shooting street, quotation street. But, I want to do something that with my photography that I don't want to say makes a difference, but has more of a meaning than just going and shoving a camera in, some poor dude's face and making him look like he, is in a movie. I want something more. Yeah, I'll always shoot street. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna be out there every day still shooting it, but I want a project. I think is what I'm trying to say. I want a project. Want that?
I can get that for sure. You want to have a lasting legacy,
right?
My creative escape my whole life was skateboarding. So I skateboarded at a high level and hurt myself for the last time, and my foot just said no more. And then I was in that whirlwind of not knowing what I was going to do, no way to express myself.
Right.
And it's a pretty lonely life when you can't express your creativity some way. So I'm actually looking at this bus going by with the 1 hour photo sign in it.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. I like that one.
That one's sick. I like that a lot, man.
That one actually took me like an hour and a half to get, because the buses kept going and, they would change lanes. I actually had to, work for that picture, and I was pretty proud of that one, because, I saw that there was something there. I saw it, that it could happen, and I, executed it. Probably not the best. I'm sure somebody could do it better, but I'm really happy how that one turned out.
It's great. I'm going to have all the links for your stuff in the show notes so people can check out your work. And I wouldn't worry about feeling like you over edit anything. I mean, some of the stuff you have is, you can tell it's been edited, but the colors work, everything works. It's not like it's blotchy or oversaturated or anything, man. Like, I think.
Right. Well, I just compare myself way too much to other people, and just seeing other people's work, and it's just so amazing. And going back and trying to edit my pictures, be like, man, I don't ever want to get that feeling like I want to give up. It's just like, why am I doing this? I'm never going to be that good. And I got to stop comparing myself to other people. Like, there's going back to shout outs. Cool Mike here in Vegas. Like his pictures are just so amazing. Samuel the Canadian. These are like two of the bigger guys here in Vegas. Just amazing photos. And I look at their stuff and then I look at mine. I'm just like, I get depressed, you know, and I shouldn't be. I'll get there though.
You will for sure, man. Just keep plugging away. And just so you know, you're part of the Life of Phys community now. So if you ever need anything, man, just reach out. I'm always around to talk and we can shoot the shit and come up with some awesome ideas.
Hell yeah, I'm totally with that, 100%, man.
So, you credit photography with being a big part of helping you stay off alcohol.
Yes.
Now, for me, my creativity is drawn and driven to try to keep in a positive mental health state. What is your feeling of your mental health and your creativity? Do they work hand in hand? Does it help keep you in a good place?
That's a really great question for me, because it definitely helps, because it gives me out, you know, outside, and it keeps me busy and it keeps me motivated. The dark side of that is, again, going back to not think I'm good enough, and then it just eats at you when you're looking at this image and you think it's, you know, it's good, but you're worried about how other people are going to perceive it. And that's what really eats at me. I know I shouldn't give a fuck about other people think, you know, I'm a human being, you know, I do care about that stuff, you know? So that is one of the downsides for me for photography, is sharing my images, you know, because I could be happy with, you know, these, you know, 500 images that I have in Lightroom sitting there that no one's ever going to see. You know, I see them and I think they're good images, but that it's just scary I guess it's just scary putting yourself out there is what gets to me. So that it kind of messes with my mental health for sure. But it you know, it's like I guess it's like a weight, you know, you gotta balance it out, I guess. And I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. And if you have any advice on that, I would love to hear that. Just I think social media is a big thing that is, you know, probably isn't the best thing to be balls deep in, I guess, for a lack of better words.
For me, I've only been shooting 5.5 years, so I'm still pretty green as well. And for the first 3 years, I'd take photos and I just post them all. You know, I was like, I'm going to force myself to post these photos. And then you start looking at photos that you took or compositions that you made, and you're like, that one's different. I think that one's really good. And then you post it, but it doesn't get that drive that you expect. Doesn't get those likes or the follows coming, because you're like, yes, here it comes. Doesn't happen. So then you question if it's good. And I would go back and forth. Oh, this is good. This is good. Why am I not getting any traction? And it was 1.5 years ago where I decided that I no longer cared what people had to think about my work, because I was starting to look at artists like painters. Jean-Michel Basquiat. It looks like a 2-year-old drew most of his stuff. And this stuff was world famous. So you can put anything you want out on the internet, as long as you feel pride and proud of that image that you did. That's all that matters. It's you accepting the fact that that work is awesome. I'm good. I'm putting it out. Really don't care what anybody says. I'm going to continue down this path. And I think if you start to look at those images and you do that, you're going to find that project that you're looking for. Right.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's really tough. It does eat at me a lot, you know? Yeah, I struggle with, like you said, depression too. And it eats at you, man. It really does, when you don't get that feedback. Because I'll post something I'm not proud of, and it not blows up, but it, you know, gets 300-400 likes. Then I post something that I was like, man, this is a really, you know, cool image. And it gets, you know, less than half of the likes in the comments. So like that's an image that I'm really proud and I like. And then I put out, you know, mediocre that I think is mediocre, and it just, everyone likes it. And then that's, you know, and then you kind of get in that mindset, well, I'm just going to keep posting stuff I don't like because that's what is getting likes. And I think that's where I'm at right now. And that's where my conundrum comes in. You know, I don't know if I'm happy with what I'm shooting right now is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, you may have not found your niche yet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, being a year in, you still have so much to explore.
Right.
Right.
But don't get me wrong. That being said, I am having a ton of fun doing what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer. I'm depressed all the time. I'm not, man. I'm having a ton of fun doing this.
Yeah, I can tell. In your documentary, you just want to be out there and you want to be weird, man. You just want to have a good time.
I do, and I definitely have a good time. When I do hit up Fremont Street, man, the music bumping and blaring, I'm out there dancing and having a good time. And so you just gotta stay positive out there for sure.
Yeah, I think you're just gonna have that one defining moment where you take a photo and you're like, I found it. Because it's just gonna click. For me, it was garbage cans, alleys, and graffiti for 6-7 months. That's all I shot.
Right. That's what I was doing at first. Yeah.
And nobody...
I was scared to take pictures of people. I was really scared to take a picture of somebody. And I even told my friend at the time, I was like, I'm never going to just take pictures of people. That's stupid. And this was like a month into photography. And now look, I'm shooting 24 millimeters on Fremont Street up in people's faces.
Oh, you're doing a good job with it, my friend. What are you using to shoot? What's your go-to setup?
So I actually just upgraded my my whole camera system. So I was shooting most of 99% of what you're seeing on your screen right there is shot on a Canon M50 Mark II.
Okay.
Which is a tiny little mirrorless, kind of like a vlogger's camera. Yeah. I had no idea. Like I said, I had no idea what I'm doing. So I saw mirrorless and I bought it. And that was a great little camera for the price. I highly suggest it for anyone getting started. But right now I upgraded to a Canon R8, and I bought, instead of getting the kit lens, which nobody should do, I bought the 50 millimeter 1.8 RF mount. And then one of the camera stores here in town had a trade-in event. So I took all my Canon M50 stuff and traded that in, which I just got. I just shot it last night for the first time. My last post on Instagram, you can see that.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm pretty basic. My first zoom lens, really, I've only shot prime. So going out last night was really weird because I would set a focal length and then forget about that I had a zoom lens. So I was stuck on that focal length for the next 20 minutes because I totally forgot I had a zoom lens on me.
Yeah, I shoot Fuji, and my favorite lens from the X mount system is the 16-55 f2.8.
Yes.
It's such a beautiful lens. I was shooting the GFX series for a while with the 63mm prime, with the 50R, and it was amazing. The files were fantastic, but I've been trying to get down to just shooting one camera that can do my video, that can give me a good image. So I just sold it and bought a XT5, and I'm just going to roll with it. That's all I need, right?
Yep. Yeah. I was all for prime lenses, but then there was always those times where I was like, man, I wish I could zoom in. And my buddies were out there, with their, zooms, and I'm like, man. So I pulled the trigger and got that Tamron. It's a EF mount on an RF mount, so I had to get the adapter. And I went out and shot with it last night. I don't see any drawbacks on it or anything like that, but I don't have anything to compare it to. So
it works fantastic. Yeah. I mean, the EF glass is so good.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, to be honest with you. I have nothing to compare it to, man. I'm still green, man. I'm still really green.
Did you have fun with the zoom though?
I did, but like I said, I would go literally 20 minutes like on 57 millimeter because that's where I left it at the last shot, and I would totally forget that I had to zoom. So it was challenging. I was out there for 5 hours last night. Probably put in 8 miles on the strip, and I took probably 1,200 images and probably only happy with 8 of them.
Hey, you know what? 8's better than none, my friend. 8's better than none.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I haven't gone through them all because it was a lot of images last night, but I didn't want to go home because I don't get to the strip very often. I didn't want to go home, so I took the bus out there. I didn't want to go home and sit here and be like, man, I should have stayed out there a little longer. So I kind of overdid myself. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So, walking the strip for 5 hours, put a toll on my aching bones. It's all for the love.
When you go out to do your shoots, do you pre-plan what you're going to do? Or are you like me, do you just wander?
I just walk, man. My mom's always with me and she always puts me in the right direction, I think. I get, a little thought in my head and I always follow my first instinct, I never second guess myself.
That's good. That's something people should be following all the time.
Right. Yeah, just wherever my feet take me. I listen to the streets. If I can hear stuff coming. So just keep your ear to the streets and keep moving. A lot of people like to camp, and I do that too. But I like to keep it moving.
I was going to ask you if you had any projects coming up, but then you just said you haven't found your project yet.
I don't, man. I want to document something. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. But like you said, I'll take a picture and I think I'll have an epiphany one of these days. So I'm gonna have to keep get on the streets and seeing what that is.
Exactly. For me, if I was in Vegas, it would be all the neon lights and signs it'd be overwhelming for me, and I would just sit there and capture it over and over again.
Right. Yeah. It's neon's super fun to shoot. I don't think I do it very well because there's a Boneyard Photo. He's here in Vegas. He is the neon king. He loves shooting neon from dusk to dawn. He loves neon.
Yeah, we don't get a ton of it up here anymore. We used to have a main strip in downtown Vancouver that had it. A few still, but nothing like Vegas.
No, there's not much like Vegas.
Have you been in Vegas your whole life?
I've been out here since '92. So I moved out here when I was a freshman in high school.
Okay. So
I've been out here, 30 something years. So, I've moved away a couple times, but I always come back. My daughters are out here. So, I always come back home. This is definitely home.
Yeah. It's always good when you have that place, right?
Right. Yeah. Vegas is an animal, man. It's really cool to see, I've been out here since '92. It's really cool to see how much it changed, but it's also really depressing because we have no history here. They tear everything down, just like the Tropicana, tear it down, build a stadium. We have no history, which kind of sucks. But, Fremont Street, the El Cortez and the, Four Queens, Gold Nugget, those are all pretty historic casinos. So there is some history there, but I do wish we had some more history to Vegas instead of just tearing everything down.
Yeah, think of all the history in Vegas, right? There's so much that could have still been there. And I like to think of doing old school photo shoots. So, you get like an old school setup with the old school clothing, have people playing craps or whatever, just capture that moment.
That would be super cool to do.
Right. Just reenact it.
Yeah. There are some stuff like that. Now that you mentioned some Vegas, meets out here where models and photographers get together, I should probably look into something like that. It may not be my cup of tea, and I don't think it would be, but try something different. You never know what kind of connections or experiences you're going to get, with doing stuff like that.
Yeah, always say yes to the experience.
Right.
But you may learn something in that with a model. Say it's an indoor type of shoot, lit models, the works, and you might go, you know what, I could take those models and I could put them in the street how I like it and capture the moment with models. I like shooting the models, right? So there's always, I'm trying to say yes to a lot this year, which I usually don't do.
Yeah, I haven't said no to much of anything.
Nice.
Well, except for that one night on Fremont Street, I said no. We won't talk about that. I've been saying yes to a lot of things, and it's really getting me out of my comfort zone because I never would have done anything like this, a year and a half ago, or two. And in my lifetime, I don't think I would ever put myself out as much as now as I have been, or in the past as I have been now. This is all insane to me, and I'm meeting so many cool people. So saying yes is definitely, it's really cool to, you know, just get out there and meet new people.
It's always nice when you build that local community as well. Like get out and you have people, like you said, you have Boogie 702.
Yes.
I followed him because of your documentary. Incredible
Oh,
work.
awesome.
Cool Mike, followed him because of your documentary.
Heck yeah.
Amazing work.
Yes,
Samuel the Canadian,
yes.
followed him because of your documentary.
He's amazing, right?
Amazing work. Like I was telling you, Shane 702, absolutely love his work. I'm an old school lowrider guy, and seeing what he captures and what he does is unbelievable.
All right, I got another guy in mind for you. Flicks by Chris. He's another lowrider guy.
Okay.
And he struggled with substance abuse as well. I don't hate to put his stuff out there, but he's talked about it to me. But he's another good photographer. Flicks by Chris. He's another lowrider, portrait street photographer. He's dope.
Nice.
So I'll definitely link you up with him because he might be a good guy to get on there too.
FILX?
Yeah. Flicks by Chris with a K. Yeah. FLICKS _by _KRIS.
Perfect. I will, as soon as I'm allowed to follow accounts again.
Yeah. He's a really good photographer as well. Really good guy as well.
Nice. My goal is to build basically a worldwide community where everybody is supportive of each other. Get rid of the gatekeeping aspect of photography and just build a positive mold so the next generation coming up behind us doesn't have to go through the gatekeeping, the fighting, the inconsistencies, the negative. Like there's no reason for someone to tell you, so that's my little redemption story.
100%, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I'll never talk down to anybody.
I kind of wish that I got more criticism on, my pictures. Everything is so positive and that's great. But I actually wouldn't mind some constructive criticism, to be honest with you. Because Instagram is kind of like a like for like, a follow for follow, comment for comment. It's kind of bullshit, but it's a game that, you got to play, I guess. I really don't like it, to be honest with you, but I wish there was more criticism, and I don't mean like hate comments. That would suck. But maybe like I don't know. It's just everything's so happy on on when you comment on another photographer's post or anything like that. Everything's so positive,
Yeah.
Which is great and all.
Have you? So you've only been shooting for just over a year.
Yeah, a year and probably 2 months now.
Have you talked to some of the local guys and been like, hey, I know we're homies. We shoot photos and stuff together, but I want you to look at these photos and just tell me what you see.
Absolutely not. That it'd be too embarrassing, especially like face to face. And that'd be too much.
I was just thinking because them sometimes that's a little easier just to be like, am I, compositionally, am I setting this up right? Or when I did this edit, the color went super weird here. How do I fix that? Those little things.
No, I've never reached out to any of them and asked them any editing advice or anything like that. That's kind of embarrassing.
Sometimes we got to ask to learn.
I ask YouTube.
I'm the same thing. I'm a YouTube learner.
Yeah, 100%.
This whole podcast thing, I learned an hour before my first interview.
Are you kidding me?
I was on YouTube going.
What were you thinking?
Well, I made an appointment to do an interview and had no clue what I was doing. And then I had to figure out how I was supposed to edit it. So like if you started at the beginning to the progression to where I am now with like the intro music and everything else, like the progression has gone up, but it's the same thing. I've just put that time in.
Yeah.
You got to put time in. So.
And it definitely helps if it's something you want, man. I'm really passionate about photography. I know I've only been doing it for a year, but I want to learn everything, like I'm going back to, shooting with the models. I want to learn like portrait, studio photography, real estate photography, engagement. I want to learn everything. And that doesn't mean that's what I want to do like career wise. I don't want to make photography my career, but I just want to learn everything. I have that addictive personality, obviously, and I just want to soak up and learn so much information. But it's really scary to going back to asking, these bigger guys about my editing, to reach out to these guys and be like, hey, can I pick your brain on this, or can I carry your bags on a shoot? If that's, I don't know. It's not that I have self pride or anything like too proud, but it's just embarrassing, and I don't know. It's hard. I'm slowly putting myself out there, and stuff like this is kind of easier than face to face, meetings and stuff like that. So
sometimes even being a second shooter or going on the shoots with them and just watching, you can learn so much from those aspects, right?
Right.
So if those opportunities come, man, by all means, I would jump on them.
Yeah. If anyone's listening out there and you want me to carry your bags for you on a shoot, let me know. I will be there.
I'm going to tag everybody you've thanked in the post. Everybody's getting tagged. No, man, I just want to see you progress. I can see the passion that you have for the craft. And I just want to see it keep growing. You've got a community of followers up here in Canada who all are just super, super stoked on your work.
Well, send me some poutine.
For sure. It's not as good as people tell you.
Yeah.
The fries and gravy's good. The cheese is weird as hell.
You don't like the cheese curds? Unpasteurized cheese curds?
No, it's like chewing on giant pieces of rubber.
And the squid cheese. Cabernet. I know that's Quebec a bit.
Yeah. The Quebec pizza from, God, I can't remember the movie now. The Love Guru. So with everything you've gone through, Eric, do you have any advice for people?
Take care of your teeth. Say yes to more opportunities. Definitely say yes. Do something you're passionate about. Drink in moderation. I mean, go on and on and on, but basically find something you like to do and have fun doing it. And you never know what, I'm meeting so many cool people and, some new friends, all by saying yes. Like going back to, saying yes, put yourself out there. Don't be scared. And be weird. Like I said at the end of the documentary, just be weird. Be yourself.
Yeah, the documentary. How did that come about?
Oh, so that's another great story too. I was coming up on my 1-year photography anniversary, and a lot of my friends here in Vegas, not a lot of them, but some of them were kind of celebrating their 1-year photography anniversary within 6 months of each other, and everyone's posting like their 5 favorite pictures of the year or whatnot. But I wanted to do something special, so I reached out to my buddy Joe, straight out of Vegas. Look him up on YouTube. Really good guy. That's where the documentary's at. He made a short film, and so I knew he had some, videography experience. So I reached out to him with an idea of me, video, like making a short little reel for Instagram of me, hair all a mess, slumped over, walking out of the liquor store with, a bottle, looking all, like I used to look, which I still kind of look the same way. But anyways, walking out of like the liquor store with a bottle and like hunched over, and then that kind of morphing into me like standing up straight, my posture getting better, and with a camera in my hand instead of a bottle, kind of like the progression of winning from, major alcoholic, to, off alcohol and photography, kind of save my, definitely save my life, not kind of like that progression. So just kind of like morphing from walking out of a liquor store with a bottle to walking, down Fremont East with a camera instead of a bottle. And so we met for lunch, and, I told him, my backstory and stuff like that. And he's like, man, I really want to make this like a little documentary. So, we worked out the details and we made it happen. We had a really good time doing it. Joe is a really good guy, really patient with me because, I fumble over my words a lot. I'm still kind of learning to communicate and speak being sober. Because when I was on alcohol, I just spewed out anything that came out of my mouth, whether it made sense or not. So now that I'm sober, I'm trying to, put my words together. So he was really patient, working with me with that. So that's kind of where it all came from. He really ran with, my story, and he did a really good job of telling it and made me do some acting, which I was really uncomfortable doing, but it turned out pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it was very well put together. Um, and to see your story and to see you put yourself out there to explain where you were and how you've progressed to where you are. I mean, that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to step out of that comfort zone and, the security blanket we build for ourselves to put yourself out there, especially on a platform like YouTube. I mean, if you read comments on YouTube, I mean, they go from being the most positive comment to being like, I think that dude just told me to kill myself.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't too concerned with that. But all the feedback on that video was amazing. Like, and how many people like DM'd me struggling, with the same thing I was struggling with, and talking to them and giving them maybe some advice. All that, the whole experience of the feedback was amazing. I think that was more important than the video itself. Was, well, not more important, but you know what I mean. There was more to it than just the video. It was the positive feedback and from other people struggling with that type of situation. So that way, I wasn't ready for that. I knew maybe one person may have reached out to me, but not the amount of people that reached out to me with support, and their stories was just mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing. And I wasn't ready for that. Like, I had a breakdown outside on the outskirts of Fremont. I got recognized by some kid, and he's like, "Man, I saw your documentary. Really, and I was so blown away that after talking with him, I went around the corner and I just had a huge breakdown and like sat there and cried my eyes out for like a half hour. I'm so glad no one walked by and took my picture."
But man, it must feel good to know that you sharing your story gave other people hope, gave other people the ability to go, man, I got a problem.
Right. Well, I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but I don't know. It's just so many emotions, go through my head, and again, my communication skills aren't the best, but it's just so overwhelming. Everything that came from there, and again, if anybody out there is struggling with addiction or anything like that, and you want someone to talk to, please reach out to me. Please, 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 please. It doesn't have to be photography. You don't have to be a photographer or anything like that. Anybody that just happens to listen to this episode, please reach out to me, or anybody for that matter.
I think you'll have a lot of people just reaching out to tell you, man, like it was incredible to watch that video, and it's incredible to see your journey over the last year and your work, and your willingness to just talk to people and maybe offer advice that they're afraid to ask their families for or their friends. So right. That takes a lot, man. That's a great thing. You're definitely going in the right direction.
I definitely agree. I actually just had the thought maybe less than a month ago. I was sitting in bed just staring out my window, and I finally had the feeling, man, I'm proud of myself. And it took this long. It literally just happened maybe last month. Like I literally just said to myself, man, you know what, man, I'm proud of you. Good. So thank you for that.
You should be, man. You know what? You're my friend now. So whatever you need, you just let me know. We'll chat. We'll keep in touch for sure.
Absolutely. 100%, bro.
I think, I'm very grateful that Stu turned me on to you and your work and your story.
Yes. Thank you, Stu. I really do appreciate that.
Have you talked to Stu? Do you know Stu at all?
I don't. We were just following each other on Instagram, and I posted on my story, watch here. And so he watched it, I guess. And then he reached out to me. we communicated, and he seems like a really nice guy as well. Like everyone is so supportive. Like again, going back to that, everyone is so supportive, and I'm so thankful for everybody.
Yeah, Stu's a fantastic guy. He's one of my buddies. So, you know, I let it slide that he shoots Leica. You know, it is what it is.
Did he shoot with his pinky up?
Probably. When I was watching the documentary there, how is your health now?
So that is another good question. I have not, and people are going to be mad at me for this. I have not gone back to the doctor since I've been released from the hospital. One, I'm in pain. You know, I walk around probably 6 or 7 in pain all day, every day. But I haven't gone back and gotten any checkups. I haven't, and I need to. I really do. I've been having some issues that are kind of scary. So I definitely need to go, but I just haven't, to be honest with you. Send me a message on Instagram. Tell me to go to the doctor. Not you, everybody else listening.
I'm going to tell it everybody.
Yeah. But I definitely need to get back. So to answer that question, there's definitely something going on that is kind of scary sometimes, but I don't know. I just haven't gone.
You should definitely go get that looked at, man.
I think I'm scared. You know what I mean?
Well, if you need someone there, man, just I'll send you my number. Just call me. I'll be on the phone with you.
I appreciate that. I really, really do.
You know what, man? I don't want you to ever feel like you're alone in any of this shit.
Well, I know I'm not alone. Yeah. It's hard to, I'm still learning to accept, help and stuff like that, because, I pushed all that away for so many years and it's so easy, I heard a good saying the other day, and I'm probably going to screw this all up. You're more comfortable see, I'm already fucking it up. You're more comfortable in a comfortable hell than an unfamiliar heaven. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. So I'm comfortable not going to the doctor. No, I'm scared.
This is one where you got to step out of the comfort zone, my friend.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I heard that your prognosis in your documentary wasn't good, and I don't want you to. I want to see you around for a bit. I want to get to know Eric more.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm good. I'm feeling okay, but there's some scary times, So I definitely have to go back. Within the next 2 months, I'll go. How's that?
I'm going to push you every week.
All right.
I'm going to send you a message, man. Did you go?
Oh, yeah. Send me those messages.
Because that's what friends do for friends.
Yeah.
You're a friend of mine, friend of this podcast, friend of everybody who's going to be listening. Again, this, like I was telling you earlier, I did a podcast with Fred Ranger, and he caught a sentence that I said when I told him that photography was my therapy. Photography gave me hope for the world when I was going through some of my worst times. And now I haven't shot a camera in like a month and a half because I've been so busy pushing this, and I'm trying to build a platform, a worldwide platform where people just can come and share their story. There's no judgment. Awesome. No judgment here, man. Like, I'm here to share your story, share your love for your art, and just kind of let people know that no matter what has happened to us, we all have the same passions. We love the work we do. We love the art we create. But man, we had some shit happen. We had some shit in our lives, and we're all overcoming it by pushing and working and stepping one foot in front of the other.
Right. We all have a story to tell too, and don't be scared to tell your story. Definitely don't be scared to tell your story.
So maybe you need to tell me every month that I need to put out the podcast I did telling my life story that I've sat on.
Yeah. Why don't you find somebody? Why don't Stu interview you?
I've already got it recorded.
Oh, there you go. Put it out.
Oh man, I don't know if I'm ready. It's just my childhood was traumatic. And I released some. I don't know if you listened to Capturing Spokane. I released a story I'd never told anybody in my life about my dad and the things, his issues with PTSD from coming back from Vietnam, which I didn't understand back then because I was a kid. And the things he the pain he caused my mom and caused my family, and that I never forgave him until 3 months before he passed away. So I lost 10 years of my time with my father because
Right.
I couldn't stand being in the same room as him.
Well, that's hard, man. That's really, really hard.
Yeah. So, I'm going to push you, you push me, and
Yeah,
we'll
let's
both do what we have to do, and we'll get those out there. So, maybe we can help more people.
Absolutely, man. I'll be out there. I'm going to continue to put myself out there. As uncomfortable as it is sometimes, I'm still going to do it, man. Still pushing myself.
Nice. And my wife wants to go back to Vegas again shortly. She just went in November. So if I touch down there, I'm going to hit you up.
You better. You definitely better, man.
And then we're going to go capture some of this magic.
Let's do it, dude. Let's do it.
Any last words? Anything you want to tell people before we sign off tonight?
Just be happy. Be happy. Make friends. Put yourself out there. Basically it, man. Stay positive.
Fantastic words. And then you might end up on a podcast with some guy in Canada you've never met, but then you realize, you know what, that guy's pretty cool.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff in common too.
Hell yeah, we do. I think that's pretty much all we need tonight, man.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate you having me on, man. It's an honor to be on here, man. It really is.
I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you willing to, throw it out to a couple more of the Vegas guys.
We'll get it out there, man.
I love art. I love people who are passionate about the art process that they do. So, like Shane 702, the way he captures a lowrider is unreal. Yourself, the way you use your color, but it's color and moody in the same picture. And I'm not quite sure how you do that. Like I look at it and I'm like,
I don't either, man. I just move sliders. I
so
really
do I.
have no idea what I'm doing.
Me either. I just see what happens. Tone curves all screwed up, and people are like, no, it's supposed to be an S.
Well, I'm playing tic-tac-toe with my tone curves.
Yeah, right. But that's how we figure things out.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, let's keep in touch. Let's, please go see the doctor.
Yes.
It's important, man. You got some kids.
Yes, I do have my beautiful daughters, man.
And she wants to see you do good, man.
100%. I know they do.
I got 6 of them. So.
Damn, busy boy.
Yeah, and 2 grandkids. So.
Dang.
I'm old though, so it's okay.
I'm probably older than you, man.
I'm turning 50 this year.
Oh, you got me by a year.
Awesome, brother. Well, you have a good evening. I'm gonna hop off and go make some dinner.
I'm gonna go shoot Fremont right now.
Sick. Well, maybe magic's gonna happen. You're gonna find what you want.
Maybe. You never know. That's why I'm out there.
Awesome. Enjoy it, buddy. Enjoy your evening. Have fun shooting, and let's keep in touch.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem, Eric. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Life of Phys Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our chat, and don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us continue to bring you content and the stories of our incredible guests. And remember to stay connected with us on all social media platforms. It's at LIFE.OF.PHYS. And discover even more stories from the community over competition movement. Have a great day.